Pop quiz. What's the only thing better than a lush fiddle leaf fig plant? If you answered 2 fiddle leaf fig plants, then you hit the nail on the head. Hi there, I'm Meg for Fiddle Leaf Fig Plant Resource Center. You know, nurturing this unique tree is a great experience, but even better is helping your tree produce another fiddle. And in this video, we're going to show you exactly how to do just that. You know, about a year ago, I noticed that one of my 9-foot Ficus lyrata plants had become a big Y shape. Now, I wanted one of those 2 tall arms there to produce more branches instead of continuing to grow straight up. To make that happen, I knew I'd have to cut down that limb. But what a perfect opportunity to start another tree from that cutting. So if you'd like to do something similar with your fiddle, gather what you'll need. You'll need heavy-duty, sterile pruning shears, a rooting hormone, which comes in a powder form. You'll need gardening gloves and a clean rag, and then a vase or a container with clean, room temperature water. Start by cutting off the branch that you like to propagate. Now, if you'd like tips on where and how to chop, see one of the many in-depth videos or articles on pruning and shaping a Ficus lyrata right here on our website, fiddleleaffigplant.com. And once you've made your cut, remove all the lower leaves just like this. Surprisingly, they snap off pretty easily. The sap is a skin irritant though, so wear gloves if you'd like, or use your clean wipe to blot out that substance off each open sore. The circular wounds that you see will scab over in no time, so don't rub, just dab. And as a side note, these leaves do not need to be discarded. Many clever artists and chefs use fiddle leaf fig leaves to display their wares or wrap their artisanal dishes, so call around. You can even offer to keep the leaves alive in water until you find a good application to show them off one last time. Back to your stem. This branch here will be the start of a newly propagated fiddle leaf fig. Leave 1 or 2 or 3 leaves on the tippy top of your new plant's stem and place it gently into its new container of water to recover and to get to work producing new roots. To double or even triple your chances of successfully propagating your plant, dip that raw open cut end into a rooting hormone to prompt it to produce roots at that site. And then, as you can see here, the stem is just again placed right into room temperature water. Keep that container in a place with bright, filtered sunlight. Change out the water of your propagated stem every 2 to 3 days. And to increase that plant's chances of success even more, cover it with like a plastic bag until it's time to pot into a growing medium. The process should take about 6 to 8 weeks. You'll know for sure once your roots average about a 1/2 inch a piece. There will be some short ones and some longer, but right around an average of a 1/2 inch a piece. And that's when you know you can place that cutting right into its new potting mix with a well-draining planter pot. And you know, you don't need a large plant to do this. Even more recently, I adopted a fiddle that happened to have a number of teeny tiny branches you can see here coming off its thick trunk. And I wanted to clean up the base of this tree to contour it more like a lollipop form instead of the bush shapes that you sometimes see in the Ficus lyrata plants. So in other words, I needed to cut these little guys right here. I needed to cut them off. But again, here's another perfect opportunity to multiply my plant collection by propagating those small branches into new plants. So watch closely as I use sharp, sterile shears to nip the tiny branches off and dip that cut end into rooting powder. You'll notice I'm not dipping the sappy plant straight into the hormone's original jar, but into a separate cup so I don't contaminate that whole container of this stuff. And I've found that these tiny cuttings propagate better if I deposit them directly into their new potting mix, skipping the water. And if you get enough of these little guys, you can see my little propagation station looks just like a baby nursery, doesn't it? But the problem is it's imperative that you keep these cuttings moist, something many veteran fiddle owners hesitate to do since the fear of root rot dominates so many conversations surrounding this species. Sadly, I neglected just one of my twice-a-day soil mistings, and 3 of those 4 little fiddle propagations never really fully recovered from that mistake of mine. This one plant, however, has been a shining success, and it's the reason I propagate again and again. Now it's your turn. Snap a before shot of your plant, follow the directions here, and then keep us posted in our online Facebook group called the Fiddle Leaf Fig Plant Resource Group. And while you wait, grab a copy of the new book by our own Claire Aiken, The Fiddle Leaf Fig Expert. In it, you'll learn all you need to know about how to turn your propagation experiment into a real success story that you can use to inspire others. Thanks for watching and good luck!